What is the most true for me in this very moment? That after practicing this all day long, I put my focus in here, and that feels good. So there's this question that I've been getting from my spirit recently, multiple times per day, in the most random moments of a day. What is the most true for you in this very moment? So I'm asking that to you. You can pause the video when you need it, if you need it. The question is, what is the most true for you in this moment? And the point of this question is that it wants to put you in the present moment, where you can unlock this flow of expressing yourself. And if it doesn't automatically put you there, then you can, what I'm seeing is, you is the main character of your life, which is a film, and all your spirit guides around you, or God, or whatever you connect to in the invisible realm. They are the film production. They're working on your set, and so they tell you, okay, you have 3 minutes, the scene is all yours, but you have 3 minutes and you have to fill it in somehow. You can make it as theatrical as you wish, or you can keep it simple. But the point is that you deliver the update on how it is to be a human on the planet in this very moment from your perspective. So feel free to express yourself however you want. And when they ask what is the most true for you in this moment, where it leads me is to check, where is my attention basically? Is there any physical sensation? Is there any feeling? Is there a story that is happening? Am I being caught up in the situation that I'm dealing with? Is there something in life happening that is kind of, that sucked me in? Is there, what is going on? Like, what is the subject? What is the tone? What is this? If we would watch this 3 minutes of your report, what could we conclude? What is this film about? Or at least an episode, if not the whole film. So that's been coming up to me as a practice, not as a one-time question, but as a practice. What is the most true to you in this very moment? So I'm asking you. Hi. Welcome to my multidimensional living room. This is a space where you land to co-create a painting with me. I'm going to be painting energies, those that are in the collective field, that are visible to me in one way or another. And we're going to be talking about life in multidimensional terms. If something finds you in the right place at the right time, if something helps you orient yourself, connect the dots, understand yourself and those around you a little bit better, then that's great. And if it doesn't, then please hold space for the fact that it might be for somebody else, or that it might be for you as well, but maybe in another time. Use your intuition and use your discernment. And sometimes I also say, listen not only with your ears, but also with your body, and watch not only with your eyes, but also with all your senses and your environment as well. Sometimes I say that, and what I've been noticing lately, not lately, but yesterday, while I was editing the last video that I made, the last painting, I saw that sometimes I have this thing that I start a conversation, I start talking about something. So I start a thought, like a tree that would grow up, and then I go on the first branch, and then from the first branch I see another branch and the third branch, and then I jump on the second and the third one, and then I finish over there, and I forget about the first branch, while you are still hooked in the ending, the potential ending that never comes from the first branch, and it doesn't come because I forgot. it happens to me often. My friends have been pointing this out to me, and they said, you have too many things to say all at once. And that's true. And it's not because I have ADHD. I don't believe I have it. I know people who have ADHD, and my brain doesn't work like their brain. What I do see that is happening in my brain often is that I do see multiple branches all at once, and then I get excited about some of them and forget about others, or I get overly conscious about consequences and choice and responsibilities that come with every single choice that I make. And I know that I shape and create a conversation and a mood and the day, in the end of the day, by choosing one and not the other at this particular time, and not the other way around. And sometimes that slows me down. I don't know if you can relate to that. But where I'm going with this is that I've been noticing that sometimes when I deliver messages here, I download them from my vision board. It's this space in between me and the wall behind the camera, where I get visions, where I see things that I need to describe to you, because sometimes I can send them to you, I can project it super strongly, and then you can receive it in your mind. So we can play telepathy game, but we don't have to, because I can also just describe what I see, and then you can listen while you're doing whatever you're doing else. Sometimes it goes this way, but sometimes the messages also come from the body, from being fully present in this space, from touching the table and the paper and the tape, and feeling how is it to sit on the floor, and how is it to be near the candle, and feeling the flame from this side and watching that light over there, and taking the whole environment as an extended nervous system. And I've also been noticing, not just in myself but also in other people, that sometimes I get in contact with people who, you know, they can talk whatever they want to talk. I think that's the paint that should be here. They can talk whatever they want to talk. They can talk things that are completely not interesting to me, things that I completely don't understand, that are completely other field of operating, other belief system, other paradigms. But in their own way, they are so aligned with themselves, like their bodily presence, their physical presence, their emotional, their mental and spiritual presence is so aligned and so in congruence with where they're going and how they're getting there, that it's a pleasure to listen to them. So it really doesn't matter what they're saying. I can listen to them talking things that I personally don't believe in anymore, because I went through that belief system and realized that it's bullshit. But I've been there. I believed in what they believe in. It's not about what they're saying. It's not about how I think that what they're saying is a lie. It's about how aligned are they in believing what they are believing. Or they can be talking about something completely else, like politics, which I might find completely the most boring thing on the planet. But if they really speak about that politic in a way that you see that they're not just talking information, they're also expressing their soul through talking that information, I will be perfectly able to be locked in for 38 minutes and watch that person speak whatever they want to speak, even if it's politics. What I'm pointing at is that sometimes you can find the truth in the frequency, in the feeling, in the body. When you see somebody exemplify that for you, it's like in this moment, like they're expressing themselves perfectly at ease with everything that they want to say, everything that they're going towards. It creates some sort of ease in your body, at least on a subconscious level, where then you feel free to express yourself in your own right, in your own paradigm, in your own belief system, in a way that is kind of like a domino effect. It's like one domino falls and then it pushes you to do something and to express yourself in a way that you want to express yourself. And this is how you can sense the truth contrary to sometimes you can also find people, and this is what I'm also seeing as a contrast, there are people who always deliver such beautiful information in whatever they're doing, in their speeches, in their videos, in their teachings. And I know for sure that if I expose myself to them, I'm not going to get stupider. But sometimes, no matter how much the information that they're putting out there that is really high quality, and it really makes me feel like I'm really doing something good to myself if I expose myself to that information, the way they're delivering it, even though it might on the surface be like, wow, they're so beautiful, they have social approval, they have charisma, they have confidence, they have something to deliver that message that really sticks. They know exactly how to hook you, and they know exactly how to keep your attention. They know exactly how to show up for you in the right place at the right time, so that it just creates this whole experience of, I'm here for you, not for anybody else, for you. But still you look at them and there is something underneath that just kind of like, yeah, it all just looks beautiful and it sounds so great, and I really do believe in everything they say, but I kind of just want to leave. and then it's kind of like your body is telling you there is something else going on in the background that you may not be aware of. You can't really see it clearly, you can't really pinpoint it, but there is something that perhaps doesn't have your well-being and all corners of your well-being in their best interest. It doesn't mean that it's something bad for you. It just means that it's not fully aligned. It just, maybe it's 86% aligned and not 99.9%. What are you doing here? Jesus Christ. Okay. I didn't expect to get to this point from the start, but luckily I'm wearing a t-shirt that I do feel sorry for. I'll take care of it later. Anyway. Yeah, there's this like, you know, a little bit like, I don't want to wear just anything for you here. I want to look good. But sometimes I also then have to sacrifice my clothes. Anyway. For this painting today, I've been pulling cards. 4 of them only. And if you've been on this channel from the earliest of times, or if you joined at some point and you were still able to catch some of my earliest videos that I have removed because I think they're kind of cringy, then you have seen that I did do tarot readings. And actually the very first few videos of this channel was born as a tarot reading channel, and I started as a tarot reader, but I wasn't fully on board with this, and I have, through trial and error, realized that I enjoy painting here, and I think that's what I need to do, way much more than reading tarot. However, I do read tarot, and if you feel like you want to have a tarot chat with me, and if you feel like I might be the person to look into your energy field and see what's going on and give you some clarity, then by all means the link is in the description. I absolutely love and adore, and it's one of my favorite activities to do one-on-one readings. But when it comes to talking to more than one person, I do enjoy painting. So, speaking of cards, I've been pulling cards today, and there was this card of telling the truth. It's called 𝐬𝐨𝐵. And with that card, basically, essentially, yeah, both, speaks about the truth that is being felt and not the truth that is theoretically true. It's like, you know, the difference between, how do you know that somebody's really telling the truth? Your body knows it first, then your mind, because your mind will go into is that really true? Can you quote it? Where did you get that from? Is it approved? Does it have a social backup? How did you obtain that knowledge? I don't know, what else like could be there to... It's like your mind can lose itself in the nitty-gritty of it while overriding the fact that something finds you in the right place at the right time because that's the truth for you. But if you're not willing to see it and feel it rather than see it, you will try to see it and try to trace it back. And you know, there are places and fields where that is totally, absolutely, it has to be this way. Like, if you have any kind of academic background, that's just how it is. Like, you can't finish a university without figuring out what is the right information that you can work with, and you can't really come to the end by believing in fake things and using just any source of information just like that, you know. So there is a place and time for all kind of way of seeing things. But for some reason this card came out, and it kind of I found it relatable because I found myself while editing the video. I found myself in the last video that I started a sentence and I never finished it. And I'm sorry if it found you unsatisfied, but it happens to me sometimes. But together with this card, I was also getting the vision of an energy body, of an emotional body, and I felt it. And I feel it. Not right now anymore, but I've been feeling it. It was, in the vision I've seen somebody from the back, like backward turned to me, and I was seeing bruises on the heart, on the back of the heart. It was as if the heart was fully open and receptive, and then something came and punched you in the back of your heart. It doesn't carry an energy of betrayal or backstabbing, but it is coming like a punch of some sort that is being felt, and there was a bruise. And then I was seeing that heart space being open, closed, open, closed, open, closed, which is kind of a normal state of the heart, but there was something more about the contraction that is happening in terms of like something, that punch that showed up. It's not necessarily a punch like someone came and punched you intentionally. It was more like a debris that I was seeing, like when you have a tornado and tornado passes, so the worst is already behind you, you've been ruined, but somehow there are still some sort of like a debris, the leftovers of whatever you've been through, that you already put a lot of healing, a lot of attention, a lot of care and love into. There are still like the very little leftovers that are still affecting you. So I didn't see the actual hurt that happened. I've seen the bruise. That kind of tells me that it has happened and it hasn't fully healed yet, but it's in the process of it. And I've also seen that it's something in relation to something that's been happening for a very long time, where there was a lot of care and time and love invested, as I said, on perhaps getting out of certain dynamics or something. And I was clearly seeing something that you could even claim as, yeah, I'm done and over with this. I've already moved through that. This is not my story anymore. But then 3 months later, you find yourself in a situation with something or somebody that just pushes all of the buttons that just kind of activate that previous state within you. You will have your own way of relating to it. Was it good or was it bad? It's really what you make out of it. But there was this kind of like almost automatic fall back into some previous state that kind of gets activated. And with this state you get impulses, reactions, behaviors, thought patterns, thought scenarios. Did I say behaviors? Yeah. Reactions, impulses, instincts. Yeah, something that just kind of like, it happens by default, it happens automatically. It's on the autopilot. It's in the autopilot mode of how do you respond to this situation? How do you respond to those buttons being pushed? And then there was like a really clear field in which, okay, so this is the field that is in one bigger field, and in this smaller field you see all of those many things popping up, and you find yourself acting out in certain ways. But before as these little things pop up, there's like enough buffer time for you to act on those things, and perhaps you act on a few of them before you realize that there is more to come, and then you stop yourself and realize like, oh wait, no, I don't do this anymore. And then you catch yourself in the action and in that field, and you realize that, okay, well, I'm done with this, like I don't play here anymore. And so you stop yourself and you stop the momentum of it. And then you move yourself, you position yourself from being caught in this instincts, like this autopilot behaviors, and you move yourself into the observer of it. And as you're the observer of it, let me stay here for a moment, just to collect yourself. But eventually, as you zoom out completely, you realize that that field is within one bigger field. And this is what I'm feeling that is on a bigger level, kind of going through the heart space. And this is why the heart space is opening and closing. And it might happen in a relation to like anything really. You know what it speaks to you and how it speaks to you. It can be connection with another person. It can be the way how you're earning money in the world, whatever. But it speaks about like, what is the most loving thing? Like, how can you navigate this situation and show up as, what is the most loving thing? And there is something about self-love that kind of enters the equation, because you've been through such patterns already so many times that the healer aspect of you is strengthened enough that it can come to this part of you who kind of, I will use the word, get seduced into playing those patterns. Like there is a part of you that really wants and not wants but likes the intensity, the charge, this buttons being pressed. It really like there is something to it. And I get that with this card of the poet. It's kind of like romanticized suffering a little bit, which is very potent space and field to be in if you want to write poems about broken hearts or how unfair the world is or anything like that. And if you feel inspired to do any of that, I'm not here to stop you. But what I'm seeing clearly is that the aspect of you that has a little bit higher consciousness, the one that kind of learned how to heal and how to navigate those situations, like that part of you has already been through enough times that it has seen this mini field through and sees it for what it is, that it doesn't need to leave you hanging there. It's like, yeah, if you choose to write books about this, then great, go for it. If you see that how it works for you, great. But there is this, like I see this healer aspect of you coming to this other romantic sufferer side of you and putting a hand on the shoulder and being like, it's okay, I got this. And completely shifts the field into you don't have to sacrifice yourself. There is something about self-love being introduced into the equation of everything that you are doing. It's like if you find loving another person very consuming to you, and you find yourself obsessively thinking and fantasizing and prioritizing them and being potentially willing to go an extra mile just to make them happy in order to make yourself happy, then there is this now voice in your head asking you, but is this really loving for you? And do you really love another person if you forget to love yourself in the process? If this is in like a business scenario, then you ask yourself, is it really loving to you to sacrifice yourself and minimize and kind of disappear yourself into the role that perhaps wasn't even designed for you to do? Is it really a loving thing to do, to care about yourself in a way that you have to disappear in order to earn money for your living? It's like there is this self-love that is introduced into the foundation of who you are, and also the love of others is being on the other side introduced as well. It's like if you are somebody who always thinks about themselves first and foremost, there is awareness of how loving is it to love yourself if you don't love people around you. And there is the balance that is kind of trying to create itself through that process of including self-love for yourself, but also for others. Or loving others as an extension of self. If you see everything as yourself, then self-love is then as well loving others. Did I press record? I did. For a second I didn't see it. Yeah. Also it comes with learning how to stay in your own field as you also extend your field to others. How to not lose yourself while inviting others to connect with you, or where you extend yourself to connect with others. Hold on, I have to cough. Okay. And that was leading into the last card that I pulled was the Orphan. And that one I feel rather in like on the mass level. Like, yeah, it can happen individually, but it's more so the state of humanity in a way. Not everybody again, but I'm just getting this kind of, I have to say it, collective feel of looking around and waiting for somebody to come and save us. It's this feeling of helplessness and hopelessness, like I can't do it myself, so somebody needs to come and do it for me. Kind of this need to be saved, this need to be taken care of. There's this feeling of disappointment and abandonment that is then being projected externally onto somebody needs to come and fix this. And it kind of reminds me of this idea. Should I bring this experience in? I don't want to. I'll be very brief. The camera stopped recording at the time when I was talking about this field, Catholic field, in which I've met people who have this belief that there is only one Jesus and that world can only be saved if the Jesus, like that one and only, the one who already lived 2026 years ago, the Jesus needs to come back into his, how do people call it, and I don't like this term, meat suit, yeah, and then he will save the world. He'll have a chat with all the global leaders and things are going to change. And they believe in that. They believe in the Jesus. They believe in that one and only. They don't see, they believe in the flesh. They believe in the physicality. They don't see the Christ consciousness as something that is available to every single one of us. And that there are many Jesuses already walking on the planet. They don't see that. And so that's kind of what corresponds to this orphan card to me, this expectation and looking outside into the flesh, into the 3D world, and looking for something material that will change the world. While what I'm seeing on the opposite side of this, and I need red in order to ground this. No. What I'm seeing on the opposite side of it is that we get to show up for ourselves. And here I'm seeing the vision of an atom. How's the atom looking like? So there is something in the middle, which I'm seeing this blue is kind of like in the middle. And then there are this circles around the circle. And they carry something, right? So, yeah. You know what I mean. With that vision, what I'm getting is like we get to show up for ourselves first and foremost. So your future self is showing up for your current self is showing up for your child self is showing up for your teenage self is showing up for your future self, you are showing up for your future self, and then your current self is also showing up for your teenage self, and it's all happening across time and space simultaneously all the time. And then as you're in this process of you showing up for yourself in whatever way that, in whatever direction also that is needed in any given moment in time as you move through space, you're also showing up for other people. And so your future self shows up for their child self, and their child self shows up for your future self, and it goes in all possible directions. You can walk outside on the street and meet somebody and they will tell you something like, hey, I feel really stressed right now and I just need a company, and then you go and hang out with them. And so you bring your current self to their current self, or you bring your current and higher self into their current and child self, or you meet somebody who is like double as old as you and you see them laughing like a 3-year-old. And it's that laughter that they bring from their child self that you realize in this moment, like that's all you need for that day. We show up for each other all the time. And I also remember the vision that I've had yesterday in the previous painting that I did. What was it? Because I remember that there was an aspect of the vision that I did not manage to bring into the painting for whatever reason, because I forgot. What was it? What was even the theme of yesterday's painting? Oh, I have to. Hold on. It was about being in the space where you are. Exactly. It was this part where you set yourself free from the slime of the environment, and you stop mistaking yourself for the environment and what you are and what you are not, and then you start shining. Exactly. Yeah, and you become this ball of light that can, it can create a clear path in front of you. Like things just move in order to make space for you. They don't try to swallow you anymore. So a part of that energy, like another trajectory of the vision that opened up that I didn't get to say yesterday, was that as you start lighting and you become this light, you also come in contact with other people who are lightening in the same way. And then I was seeing all these lights being kind of like the middle of the flower without petals, being all brought together. And then as it's weird, I know, things like this, I don't think I've seen this in this physical reality happening like this. But imagine like this yellow flower, and the flower that is yellow in the middle and white petals. It's very basic one. 𝔥𝔢𝔦𝐫𝐬𝐳 or 𝐬𝐨𝐮𝐥. Yeah, that flower. Imagine those flowers without petals being kind of stuck together. And then the yellow part of that flowers kind of comes together with other yellow of the flowers, and then they somehow support each other. They show up for each other. I know this makes no sense in the physical reality, but I'm seeing those flowers coming together and then blooming together once when they're together. It makes no sense, that's not how flowers bloom, but that's what I'm seeing. It might be also something that there is a new way of blooming that is being downloaded into the physical reality. Or it just shows completely new ways of operating that are, yeah, that's what I'm saying. New ways of operating that are being installed through people who learn how to differentiate themselves, yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing a dancing flower now. That's really cool. It reminds me of a tile that I once channeled while being tuned into the storm, which was, I believe it was a constellation, not a constellation, it was a composition, exactly. Is the energy of that tile being here in this painting? Reminds me of it, looks like it, but is it really? I'm gonna leave that to you. So at the end of every video I take a photo of the painting and then I'll leave it at the very end of the video together with music that I joyfully create by myself. So you can look at this painting and see how it speaks to you based on how is it turned around. Because there is different energy, different meanings that is available for you to download into your own experience. Depending on if I'm looking at this painting from where I'm looking at it, or from this side, or from this side, or from the upside down. And this I need to make still. Yeah. No. You know, there is always this moment when you need to know when to stop. And then there's like, okay, now I'm gonna stop, but just one more move, and then damn it. Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing stop it. But in my body there is this feeling that I could just keep going on. I could just go on. But I'm gonna stop it. So, thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here and appreciate the support of the channel in whatever way that is suitable for you, even if it's just a like. I appreciate it. If you want your own personal painting, the link for that is in the description. Is it? Yeah. This painting is going to be in the pinned comments. I always love watching what happens accidentally in the process of making a painting. How paint also paints itself elsewhere on the way, on my t-shirt, on my hands. It's gonna leave the print in the sink as well. And it's always beautiful to watch those things. Anyway, so I'm finishing. What I wanted to say, where was I? Yeah, it's always like, links are down. I'm just gonna keep it simple from now on. Description or pinned comments, you know where the links are. For the painting, for other paintings, and for personal readings if you feel like you want me to talk about cards. Thank you for being here. Ciao.